And hello everyone, Lights and Gear is here with a flashlight review, and I have something new from Acebeam. At the time of recording, this is a pretty new light from the folks at Acebeam with a 5-year warranty. Scrolling down here, you'll see that it is the TAC2AA, the Tac 2AA. And it's a flashlight which will give you varying amounts of output using different types of batteries. It comes with a lithium-ion rechargeable battery, or you can use 2 AA batteries, or two of the NiMH type as well, just like this, with a 1.2 volt. So those are your battery options, which can come in handy depending on your situation. So looking around the box, there isn't much to see. It's just a big orange box with some bits of information here on the front. And you can see the light inside the window. It's just under 6 inches long, so it's not tiny in that regard, but still very pocketable. So here we go with the contents of the package, and here is the user manual, and here is the flashlight itself, and elsewhere in the box, you'll actually have 2 diffusers for different types of light, if you want to do something a little different with it, or use the beam for other means. You can use one of these 2 diffusers at any given time. And elsewhere in the box is this little tiny packet right here, which consists of a spare cap, a spare tail cap there, and 2 little O-rings. Is there anything else in the box, you ask? Let me shake it around, and you will find a USB charger, USB-C, of course. And that is for the battery, which it comes with, plus a standard type of lanyard. Let us look at the light a little more carefully. It's a nice, I'm not sure what color you'd call this. It's blue, but it's like a, I'm not sure, I'm thinking like a cobalt blue perhaps. And I'm actually noticing here that one of these O-rings is sticking out right there. But as you take the cap off, you can see the gizzards inside the head there. And here's the battery, which I might as well pull out while I have the head off. And it's one of these doohickeys, which has the USB port on the battery. It is an Acebeam 1600 mAh, and it is a 14100P. So you can use this and charge the battery via the port up here. If that's not handy, or if you happen to be somewhere out in the woods or whatever, you can also use either standard alkaline batteries or NiMH batteries like this N-loop. So either one will do. You would get pretty much the same kind of output with an NiMH as you would a standard AA battery. Obviously, the output will be a lot lower with one of these than it is with your lithium-ion battery. But either case, you can certainly do that. But we'll go over that here in a couple of minutes. Let me just get the regular battery back in and replace the head here. So anyway, here is the light, and this pocket clip is extremely strong, so you can attach that to anything, and you know it's not going to go anyplace. Let me show you the manual, and we'll run over a couple of the statistics here. It actually has 2 modes, so it has what they call a daily mode and a tactical mode, and it explains here how to operate it via the side switch or the tail switch, because it is tactical. And there's also a battery indicator here, a battery power indicator. Basic operation. First of all, you have to turn it on via the tail switch. And in tactical mode, of course, you can press the tail switch lightly and get light at any time. And whether this comes on in turbo or in any other mode, or perhaps any other mode that you were already in, like a memory mode, will depend on whether you have this set at the daily mode or the tactical mode. Right now it's set to tactical mode, so anytime I press the rear switch like that, even lightly, I'll get turbo. To switch it back to the daily mode is very simple. All I do is press the side switch and hold it while I click the rear switch. And then if I turn it off and turn it back on again, I will have the last mode it was on. So this would be mode memory, and in this particular case I believe we're in the low mode, and again that is daily mode that I'm in right now because I just changed it from tactical mode. Now I might be getting a little bit ahead of myself. I was talking a couple of minutes ago about the power indicator, and that's what you see here as soon as you turn the light on. As you can see, it is green, and it will be green unless the battery dips to about 30% or lower. Then this will show red, and I believe it even goes to a flashing red if it dips any lower than that. So you'll always know there that it needs charging if you see the red indicator. So basically when the light is on like this, you can turn it off and like that, and that'll of course switch it off all the way. If I don't want to be clicking the switch every time, then you can turn it on and then switch it off via the side switch. Now it's off, but the side switch has the little breathing light on here, so you'll know that it's in standby, basically. Can you see the light going on and off there? So it's breathing and in standby mode right now. But easy access is to press the switch again like that, and you'll get your light that way. There are the regular modes. I believe we are in low right now, so if I press and hold, there's medium. Press and hold again, there's high. And to get the turbo, you would double click. So there's turbo mode on the double click. Now if it's off like this, and you can go to the ultra low mode, then you just press and hold thusly, and there's your ultra low mode. So let me show you those as it explains here in the manual. And if you can see this, that is right over here. There we go, under the technical parameters. So you have turbo mode. Well, it claims it comes in a couple of different LEDs. So there's an SFT25 LED, for which it is a little bit lower in output. This one is the TN LED, and this is where I'll get 1600 lumens out of the light. So right now, as you look at the chart here, I'll have 1600 lumens under turbo, and then 350 under high, and 100 under medium, and 30 under low. And then the moonlight, which I was identifying before as ultra low, so they do call it moonlight, and that's only 1.5 lumens. Now if you were to put in an NiMH, you would get a lot lower output. There's a chart over here showing the NiMH in the same LED, and for that you'll get about 630 lumens on turbo. That lasts for about a minute or so, and then it'll drop to 530, and then everything else is pretty much equal to what the NiMH gives you, with 360-ish on high and 110 on medium, 35 lumens on low, and again 1.5 on moonlight. So that's if you're using the NiMH battery. Now for anything, of course, any type of battery, you get a reasonably good beam distance, because the beam on it is very tight and focused, so you do get a good length of beam, or a good beam distance, if you will. And of course it is also water resistant to 2 meters, and it's drop resistant to 1.5 meters as far as your impact resistance goes. Some of the other stats, you can take a look at that here, and you have the power indicator, and it does tail stand. If you're careful about how you set it on a table, it will tail stand. If you try to do it quickly, it might fall over, but it does reasonably well. The table I'm using here is a little bit soft, so it's not going to stand as well as it would on a nice flat surface, but it will tail stand, so you have that capability. Alright, so let's show you the higher beam. If I double click, if I turn the light out here and turn this light out, and the beam, as you can see, is very tight and very focused, and this is low mode right now. So in here, this is low and medium high, and then double click is the turbo, which is pretty darn bright. And with the focused beam, you will see a pretty good distance with it as well. So right now I'm on turbo, so let me turn it off and switch it with the NiMH batteries and show you the difference in the output. Okay, through the magic of editing, here is turbo mode using the NiMH batteries. And I'll switch it back now to the lithium. And once again, here's the lithium battery on turbo. And then one click will turn it off, and it will go back down to one of the lower modes. And then of course if I press and hold, it'll just cycle low, medium, high, just like that, constantly, of course. So those are the outputs. Let me take it outside and show you what it does in the darkness of the night with a lithium battery. Okay, I'm outside now with the Acebeam, and I have it on low, and as you can see, the spot is well centered on the fence down there at the end, and this is low right now. So if I give the button a press, here's medium and here's high. It actually looks a little bit brighter to me on the camera lens than it actually does in real life, but I can't do much adjustments for this camera, so it's probably got a little bit too much of an exposure. But this is high right now, and if I pan around, you can see how easy it lights up. I can double press it now and go into turbo like that, and it really sort of overdoes the camera lens a little bit, but it is pretty bright anyway. And with the beam being very focused, it'll give you even the assumption of a brighter beam than it actually is. Not to say that it's not bright, but the focused beam acts to sort of enhance the output. And then if I press it once and turn it off, and then do a holding press, I'll go down to the ultra low, and you can sort of get a sense as to what you can look at up close, even on the very lowest mode. So there are your outputs: low, medium, high, and turbo mode. So not bad at all. I can do a turbo over here under the tree as well, so you can see that in a little bit more of a distance. Okay, so as you can see, it does pretty well outside. The Acebeam Tac 2AA is a pretty neat flashlight. While I had it on turbo, it was starting to get very warm in the head, and that was only after about 30 seconds or so. Now it does initially do an automatic step down, so you don't get that turbo mode for an unlimited amount of time. It will step down automatically after about 60 seconds or so, according to the manual. I haven't actually done a timer on that, but it will step down after a minute. And if you have the SFT25 LED, it'll go from 1400 to 500. So those are the differences there depending on the LED used in the light. So if you want to use the light for different types of situations, and if you want more diffused light, you can take one of the little accessory diffusers here that they give you. So say you turn it on in this like this, and you can put the white diffuser on, and then shine it around like this in like a candle kind of a fashion, and that still gives you a nice muted light, but also enough light to work with. And then if I put the other one on, instead of the white one, we could use the orange one, and now that's going to give you a weird kind of a glow. But if you want an orange glow, and you never know when an orange glow might come in handy, maybe even if you were signaling or something like that, because this light does not have any emergency modes. So there's actually, I take that back, it does have an emergency mode, and if I have it off and click it 3 times, I'll get strobe. So I did forget about that, and it just reminded me. So if you wanted to use this as an emergency mode with the strobe, here you've got quite the emergency light. So that would be something to consider. But it is a nice light. Obviously the AA battery can come in handy if needed, and the NiMH as well, so you have the flexibility there of the different types of batteries. There is a link below this description to pick one up for yourself or someone else, as this time of year we get into the holiday season and whatnot, so you can certainly take advantage of that and leave me any questions or comments below, and we'll discuss them. But other than that, Acebeam puts out a nice flashlight, and this is the Tac 2AA, which does a pretty good job for what you need in a AA flashlight and more. That's it for today. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take it easy, and thanks for watching.